Behind this door was a house of horrors, and one quiet man who inspired 3 of the most terrifying films ever made: Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Silence of the Lambs. All 3 films were inspired by one real man, in one small town, Plainfield, Wisconsin. Population 700. Everyone knew everyone. It was a kind of town where nothing happened. Among them lived Edward Theodore Gein, the shy farmer, the helpful neighbor. He babysat children. He volunteered at community events. The children loved Edie. The adults trusted him. But Ed Gein lived alone on a farm outside of town, and no one had been inside his farmhouse for decades. To understand what Ed became, you have to understand his mother. Her name was Augusta, and she ruled Ed's world completely. Augusta taught Ed that all women were evil, whores, instruments of the devil. She forbade him from ever dating, from ever marrying, from ever leaving her. Time moves forward. Ed grows up. His father dies. His brother Henry dies mysteriously in a fire that Ed survived. Then it was just Ed and his mother, alone on the farm. In 1945, Augusta died. Ed was 39 years old. He sealed her bedroom. He turned it into a shrine. He never opened it again. Without her, something inside Ed broke. He became obsessed with death, with bodies, with skin. Ed began visiting the local cemetery at night. He dug up the bodies of women who reminded him of his mother. He took them home, middle-aged women, recently buried. Then he did things to their bodies that defy imagination. He skinned them. He saved their skin. He crafted objects from their bodies: lampshades made of skin, chairs upholstered in human flesh, bowls made from skulls, and a suit. A complete woman's suit made from her skin. At night he wore it so he could become her, his mother. He danced under the moon, pretending to be a woman, pretending to be her. For years this continued. For years no one suspected anything. Ed kept helping the townspeople, smiling, trusted, invisible in plain sight. But in 1954, Ed wanted more than the dead. Mary Hogan ran a tavern. She looked like his mother. One morning she was gone. A pool of blood. A single shell casing. 3 years later it happened again. Bernice Worden, the hardware store owner, vanished from her store. The last sale was to Edward Gein. He had bought antifreeze that morning. That evening, police drove to the Gein farm. Ed wasn't home. The sheriff walked toward the summer kitchen. What he saw changed him for the rest of his life. Bernice Worden was hanging from the ceiling, decapitated, dressed out like a deer. The sheriff radioed for backup. Then they entered the house. Inside they found things no officer had ever seen. Furniture made from human remains. Masks made of faces, belts, boxes, objects they could not name. And the suit, the mother's suit, hanging in his closet. In total, remains of at least 10 women were found in the farmhouse. But one room was untouched, his mother's bedroom, frozen in time. Ed confessed calmly. He did not see what he had done as wrong. He was declared insane. He was committed for life. The story shocked America, but one writer saw something in it. In 1959, Robert Bloch wrote a novel called Psycho. A year later, Alfred Hitchcock turned it into a film, A Quiet Man, A Dead Mother. In 1974, another filmmaker was inspired. Tobe Hooper created Leatherface, a killer who wore masks made from the skin of his victims. In 1988, Thomas Harris created Buffalo Bill, a killer sewing a woman's suit. 3 legendary horror villains, all born from one real man. Ed Gein died in 1984, quietly in a mental institution. He was buried next to his mother, just as he wanted. His farmhouse burned down. Nothing remains of it today, but his shadow remains in every horror film that followed. This was Ed Gein. This was before the horror.